Traders from around the world, what is going on? It's Ricky Cadan back again with another real life stock review for Real Life Trading Australia. It's Friday here in Australia. Let's take a look at what happened in the Thursday session. We are currently looking at pre-market hours as well, as I am doing this quite late in the evening. However, great time to look at the markets, and let's dive right in. So the SPY, very interesting. We did get a green candle gapping down yesterday, and it did completely fade. We did straight away move higher, which is quite interesting. Me personally, I think what is happening in the markets is we're starting to consolidate here, guys. I think most likely we're probably going to be a little bit choppy up here. I do think we will get a little bit of a retracement. If I just turn the short-term moving averages on, that should coincide with the 50-day EMA. I do think we will start topping out up here. We have had quite a large move. If you take a look here on just in the last couple of weeks, we've already moved up. I mean, 5.2% just since the start of February, which has only been 14 days. Now that is absolutely massive. And if we have a look since the start of the year, actually just before the start of the year, sorry, since our last little dip back in December, the start of December, we've come up over 10%. So the markets are looking bullish. I do think they will continue to be bullish. I think that this large move that we have had is going to come slowly to an end. I do expect we are up about 18% since October. Now, if I just draw this for you here, guys, we have had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are stretching a bit here. This is why I do believe we will probably chop around and then allow the moving averages to come back in and slowly have a little bit of a dip and then look to buy that dip. Another reason I'm looking at this, actually, before I take a look at that, guys, let's take a look at the E-minis. The after hours session, very, very quiet, as you can see. Look at this beautiful little doji candle. Take a look at the 15-minute, not showing that much happening. You can see we have been fairly sideways throughout the whole day. Not a lot happening. The coronavirus isn't having that much of an effect on the markets like I did expect. I did say that most likely it'll be a short-term dip buying opportunity, so I hope all of you capitalized on that move. Let's just take a quick look at the VIX. Now, the VIX is the volatility index. Now, what is interesting is we are coming up into the all-time highs, but as you can see here, usually when we're sitting around the all-time highs, we're sitting, nicely around the $12.50, $13 mark. But as you can see, there is still quite a little bit of volatility in the markets. The call and put ratio is obviously slightly different, more to the put side. People are still looking to protect their assets and have a little bit of fear in the markets. It makes a lot of sense. We have had such a massive move in the markets, like I said, since October. So I do expect this to continue. Maybe have another rise up as we do start to roll over and consolidate. But most likely the VIX will chop around, have a little peak up, and then come back down, and then slowly grind back down to the low 13s. That would be absolutely amazing. But let's take a look at some stocks. That was the broader markets for you there. Here's Microsoft, and Microsoft absolutely crushing life. We have had a huge move since October, up 40%. I mean, this is a $1 trillion company, folks. We're talking big money. We do definitely need a pullback. If you take a look at the long-term moving averages, we're getting fairly extended. This bullish candle, although it's green, I think a lot of people are starting to take their profits up here. People are starting to realize this trend cannot continue at this rate. So I know we are currently gapping up to 184. I do expect us to roll down eventually, but we really do need to consolidate at this particular level on Microsoft. Let's take a look at MU. Now, MU throwing in some beautiful, oh man, look at these high upper wicks. Absolutely amazing. I mean, we are at a selling level right here. Makes a ton of sense. We have sold off at this particular level before. Do I think we roll over? I think it's going to be a very choppy rollover, but I do think something like this will happen. Most likely between mid-March to April, I do expect us to come back down to the 100 and then look to bar the dip on that one. Let's take a look at Apple. Now, Apple is pretty much doing what I thought it was going to do, consolidating. I do expect this probably to continue to consolidate. If we do get a dip in the markets, guys, eventually, if we come back down to the 100, this company, obviously, super bullish. We've bounced off the 100 just a few times before in the past. A few times before in the past, and we are in a bullish trend. We are continuing to rise. It makes a lot of sense that we do just trade completely sideways from here over the next couple of weeks and maybe month or so as we move into March and April. So keep that in mind. Now, if you take a listen to my last review on Shopify, it was back on this candle here, and I said, guys, if we gap down to about the 50-day EMA, I'll just show you that here. Right here, I said if we gap down to the 50 EMA, look to buy, and if we gap up, look to sell. If you did, I was ready for this particular move. A lot of people, don't want to be bullish on. I don't want to be bearish on Shopify. I totally get that. But once, like I said, guys, since November, I mean, we had 100% gain. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Great company. Great stock to own long term, but I will call this being the top for a while, guys. I did pick this last top that we had back here. I did say that this was going to be the top, and I said that most likely we would come back down to about this level and trade sideways. That did happen. I do expect something of this particular juncture here, guys. I do expect the same thing to happen here. So just be patient on Shopify. All the long-term holders on Shop, probably look to you could probably look to sell some premium up around 580 or 600. Just be out of the money on this one, guys. It is a company that you do want to continue to hold. But if we take a look at the long-term moving averages, if we do start to consolidate here, fill this gap, and then rise, it just makes a whole lot of sense that this thing does eventually go higher. Let's take a look at the all odds. Now, I did say that we are bullish, and I said that the next target after this target here was 72.60. Have not reached that point yet. It will be a new all-time high once we get there. But for the most part, guys, stay bullish. Stay bullish on this market. Nothing. Obviously, the market will slow down. I get that, and this probably will look somewhat of a double top eventually. Just bear that in mind. I do think that once we get above this level, it will fake a lot of people out, and a lot of people will be like, yeah, this is the time to buy a new all-time high. Don't be that guy buying at the top. Wait for the dip. I do expect us to get another roll down back to the 100. You will get a chance to buy back down a little bit lower. So just keep that in mind, guys. On the all odds. Got a request for Flight Center from my girl Carla, and beautiful location to be buying. I mean, have a look at this one. If you take a look at the weekly chart, fairly great level here. You can see we have bounced off this area just a couple of times in the past, and it has been a resistance level for a while. So will this bounce right here? Nobody knows, but it is a very good buy the dip location. So Carla, if you are looking at this one, probably just be very patient when you're obviously buying this. It's going to be a long-term hold. If you take a look at the monthly chart though, look at that. Super sexy, looking amazing, bouncing off the 100, which has never happened before off the monthly chart. I mean, that looks absolutely amazing. So Carla, Flight Center looking absolutely sensational. And let's take a look at CBA. Now, my girl Helen was going to be super stoked about this one. Shout outs to you. I mean, this has been in a bullish trend. I've been bullish on CBA since this amazing double bottom back down here, and then the gap above the 100 simple moving average on the daily. I have been bullish of this of this dip here. I've been bullish off this dip here, this dip, this dip. I mean, guys, if you've been watching my reviews, you would have known exactly when to be buying. We are looking a little bit extended, I must say, and but this really was a sensational gap and go. You can see a lot of people here that were a little bit bearish did get trapped, and it did go higher, gap above that particular high, and we just rocketed it on higher. I did think that we were going to consolidate here for a little while, but that didn't happen. We got another retest gap. Man, this volume too. I think CBA, you got to settle down a little bit. We are coming back up to these, back up to these highs from this level back in 2015. So just bear that in mind. It is a time that you want to be starting to look to lock in your profits on this one, guys. So you will get another dip buying opportunity. Just be patient. Let's take a look at BHP. We haven't looked at this one for a while. However, I have said you want to be bullish off the 200, and we are back at this level. I do expect something like this to happen. Obviously, it has to coincide with what's going on with iron ore and stuff like that as well. But BHP definitely at a buying location. If you do own shares and we get a strong close below the 100 and the 200 simple moving average on a daily chart, just look to protect your asset. Probably back down to this particular level here at around 35, and then I would look to buy that dip on BHP. So keep an eye on that one, guys. Let's take a look at crude oil. Now, crude oil looking at double bottoming and bouncing out of here. Here's the double bottom. There's that cute little retest of that neckline, and wow, I mean, this has never happened before, has it? I mean, back here we had a cute little double bottom, little retest, and then back up higher. So anyone who's looking to buy, just look to, if you're not in yet, probably just look to buy on the next dip, and then that will be a very nice dip buying opportunity on that one. Let's take a look at gold. Now, gold is just going sideways. I have mentioned this is going to stay sideways for a little bit. And I do think this is really going to be a slow one, guys. Allow the 100 to come in to play, and then wait for gold to go high. Look to buy as low as possible. And last but not least, let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie dollar is just consolidating at this level. It makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, we are pretty low. If we have a look at the monthly chart, we're getting down there, guys. We are back at this particular level. I mean, this and 94, back in 2000, nice resistance, 2003, 2009. I mean, what is going to happen here? If we get a close, below here, a strong close lower than this, I'd expect us to come back down lower, but I don't think that's going to happen. To be honest, I really don't think that's going to happen. It just makes a lot of sense that we do just consolidate down here. We were down at this particular level back in 2008 and 2009 for about 6 months. So it makes a lot of sense that we are just kind of chopping around here. I do think that we will eventually go higher. I don't think it's going to take this long. It was a very, very bad drawing there. But I do expect us to probably to go higher eventually. But just look to buy as low as you can here, guys. And that's it. Buy low, sell high. All right, team. I'll be back next week on Tuesday with another real life stock review. And until then, love life, live life, and trade it. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.